everyone, welcome to Wicked.west.books. My name is Meg West, and today we are going to be talking about my least favorite reads of 2019. Okay, so before we get started, necessary disclaimer. Just because I dislike these books does not mean that you have to. Just because I dislike these books it is not an attack on you whatsoever. I managed to narrow it down to 5 books. And I'm going to go through them in what I think will be the least offensive to the most offensive to just the general crowd. So the first one we're going to be talking about is Look Alive 25 by Janet Ivanovich. This is the 25th book in the Stephanie Plum novels, which the only one I own is number 10, because I was going to collect them all, but not anymore. And my big issue with the series is that nothing ever changes. Almost read all 25 books last year. All 25. Almost in a row. I think I missed out about 4 or 5 of them, and about 4 or 5 of them out of 25 is not a lot of things to miss out on. Every book is exactly the same. All exactly the same. The exact same things happens in every book. The mystery changes, but every single book, Joe and Ranger want to fuck Stephanie Plum. She wants to fuck both of them, and she doesn't want to pick. She'll end a book picking one person, and by the time the next book starts, she's back to being undecided between the two of them. And where you're putting jokes about suicide in a book, it's not cool. It's not cool for it to be in the more recent ones. I think book 26 just came out like within the last few months. And it was one from fairly recently ago that the characters are joking about how terrible their lives are, and the answer has to be suicide. So, no. Book number 2 is Rumors by Anna Goldberson. I can't find my desk jacket for this, which is sad because, as you can now see overlaid on top, this book is absolutely gorgeous, but it's also very boring and confusing. If you haven't read the first book in a while, which is Lux, then you won't understand what's going on at all, and I listened to the audiobook and I kept going even though I knew I was confused, and it wasn't good. Like, there was a lot of drama that made the first book fun for me, but this one, I didn't care for any of the characters, and I don't remember anything that happened in this. I looked at my review, and in my review said I was really disappointed with the ending. I don't know what the ending was, but apparently I didn't like it. The next book I don't own and will not own because it was book 2 in a series and I did not read book 1, but when all of the reviews say that book 2 was better than book 1, I feel absolutely no need to go back and reread them. So that book is Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco. I can't tell if that's an E or an O in my own handwriting. This is, like I said, book 2 in the series. The first book is Stalking Jack the Ripper, which sounds like a great title, and I figured, I would be able to read Hunting Prince Dracula and get a good idea of the series. It was available at the library for me to check it out, so I read it. I hated it. My reviews were for actually fairly good reasons, I think. Vampire bats aren't going to attack people. It's just not what they do. They scratch a little bit in the middle of the night, while you're asleep, on an extremity, lap up the blood, and fly away without you even knowing they've been there until you wake up and find the cut. And they definitely don't attack you enough to drain your blood. It just... unbelievable. And then the main character's calling is investigating dead bodies, solving crimes by investigating dead bodies. And at one point, this girl has to climb up a wall made of bones. And she uses a clavicle. Clavicle is this bone right here. Clavicles break with 7 pounds of pressure. 7 pounds. That's it. That's as much weight as they can hold. And this girl who studies bodies, studies anatomy, stepped on one expecting it to hold her weight. No, and again, I don't remember much about the book because it didn't stick out that much in my memory, but those things did. Number 4 is another book that I don't own, and it was my second time reading this book because I went on with the series, and while I can admit that every book after it, up till the point that I stopped reading, which if you're curious, my Goodreads is linked down below and you can check that out. But every single book after this first one did get steadily better up until the point where I stopped reading because I was reading to do it as like a group read with Book Explosion, actually. Because they had one of the newer books in the series as their Book Explosion book of the month and I wanted to participate, so I got caught up. This book is Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi, and I hate this book. I hate the characters in this book. The only character in this book that I like is Kenji, and just the whole thing of being in love with the first boy to ever talk to her, and the whole thing of knowing that there are people out there who were debating against Warden. Isn't that his name? No, Warden's something else. Warren? I don't even remember their names. Warner and Adam. Okay. And from this first book, the Warner versus Adam debates, girl, don't pick either one of them. Later, yes, okay, I can understand Warner. And like I said, the books steadily get better after this one up to the point that I stopped reading, but this first one could not stand the characters. I'm okay with I'm okay with Tahereh's writing style, but everything else about this book I didn't like. And the final book that I'm going to be talking about today in the category of worst books I read of 2019 was a book that actually came out in 2019. Really very disappointing to me that I did not enjoy this book. The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. It's so pretty. Now, even I, right when I finished it, was not quite sure why I didn't enjoy this book. I read some other reviews, and I found someone who managed to put it into words. And they said that there was more politics than dragons. When you add that to the fact that it is such a slow-paced book, and it is so long, it is a long book. A long, beautiful book that has, like, a great story that just wasn't done well, maybe. I don't know. I didn't like it. I don't normally have an issue with slow burn books because I can do those. I don't have a lot of issues with, so long as it's not like US politics, the fantasy politics, I usually do fairly well with. But I just didn't like it in this. And it could also just be that I didn't like many, if any, of the characters. So putting into words exactly why I didn't enjoy this book is kind of hard for me, but overall, I didn't enjoy it. And I'm sorry. So yeah, that is it for this video. I'm going to be back doing BookTube for the rest of the year. We'll see how it goes after another year of doing it, but I want to do this again, so we're going to try it again. I also am going to be very active on Bookstagram this year, and my link for that is down in the description if you want to go follow me there. I'm going to take lots and lots of pretty book-related pictures all year long is what I'm going to try for. We'll see how that goes, but all day long. So if you hated any of these books, or even just disliked them a little bit and want to talk with me about them down in the comments below, I am more than happy to discuss. That is going to be it for this video. I will see you guys next week because I'm going to be posting every Wednesday. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next week. Have a wicked day. I don't think you can read it with the light on. Can you read it now? I think so.